Hello and welcome to the Guru Show. My name is Noni Madueke, and once again I say thank you for tuning in and thanks for sticking around, even though I come and go like a midweek prostitute really. And the fact of the matter is, yes, I am back, and there is a lot of things that I want to talk about at the moment with Chelsea, and I think that it is the right time to come on here and give you my opinion. At the moment, as we all know, some big dealings are going on, players coming in, players going out, and the big one at the moment, on a positive note, we are in the final of the Club World Cup, and we're back in amongst it with the elites of football. And PSG, I think it's going to be a very hard game, but it is definitely one I think we can shock a few people. But the one thing I want to talk about today, as you can probably tell by the title, is Noni Madueke is pretty much set now to go to Arsenal. And once again, it is a player that we brought in. We paid, I think, 29 million quid for him. He's leaving for over 50 million pounds. And, I understand where a lot of people are happy about the deal. In my opinion, I think it is one of those make or break deals. He could go to Arsenal and be absolutely sensational, and then we have another Kevin De Bruyne / Mohamed Salah on our hands. But with Noni, he has shown us glimpses that there is a sensational player in there. And, I ain't going to lie, I'm a little bit worried about it, because the fact is that a player that has the potential of a Noni Madueke going to a rival club, it can backfire. Now, has he shown us as Chelsea fans that level where you could probably think, he's going to get there? I don't think he has. I think when he come from PSV, I think there was a lot of potential there, and I thought there was a lot of hype around it in terms of the fact that he could reach that sort of potential. And, even though I think there's a lot of flaws in his game, I think he's tremendously one-sided, but he's very erratic, he's very raw. And when you got players like that, the one thing that you can say is that eventually they get to a point where, it clicks and they can be very dangerous players. The fact is, as well, he plays on the right-hand side. And that's where I kind of see that he's going to go to Arsenal, because I think him as a left winger, I don't really see how that works. I don't think a left-footed winger these days is really, the set way that they go. Obviously, at the moment, it's always on the right with the left foot, and they cut in and they do what they do, like a Mohamed Salah. But the fact is, he's very young, and when you give a player like that to a rival club, it can backfire. On the flip side, Chelsea are getting 50 million quid. We can then go in reinvest that, and we can go out there and get Rodrigo from Real Madrid, obviously a big deal. Or with players like Nicholas Jackson at the moment, I don't really think he's doing himself very much justice at the moment. I think he's got one foot out the door, probably not on his decision. I think he obviously wants to stay at the club. That's everything that I'm reading, is that he wants to stay at Chelsea Football Club. But I just think that Maresca has lost faith in him, and I think there's a few players that we have at the moment that Maresca has lost faith in. I think Robert Sanchez, I don't think Maresca really wants to have him. I just don't think he sees an option where we can go out and get someone else. But the thing is, as well, is that the rumoured club that wants Nicholas Jackson is AC Milan. So surely there is a deal somewhere there that we get Mike Maignan from them, and I think that would be a fantastic signing. As you all know as well, like, my second team is AC Milan. I've watched a lot of Maignan, and what I will say about him is that I think he would fit right into this Chelsea team, and I think he would be a very solid addition to the team, and I think he would definitely solve that goalkeeper position going into next season. With Champions League football, with the games that we've played, even coming off the back of this Club World Cup, there's going to be a lot of fatigue in that. Would I say going into the season with the striking options of, Liam Delap, Pedro and Guiu, would I say that's efficient? What I will say is that Pedro is coming in, and that performance the other day in the semi-final was absolutely sensational. But a part of me kind of felt that he was coming in more as a left winger. And someone that can fill in multiple positions. Would I go into a season with him and Liam Delap as the main two strikers? The thing is, I've said this when I was last doing YouTube, and I will say it again, the signing of Victor Osimhen is there for the taking. And if you are getting money for Noni Madueke, Petrovic is leaving, other players will leave, Chilwell will leave, you know, a lot of other people will leave, that there is going to be money that we can spend. The fact that you can go and get Victor Osimhen for 75 million quid, I definitely see that as a deal to be made. Obviously, we've now invested in Liam Delap, but I think that, you know, I'm not as sold to say a John Obi Mikel, but what I will say is that for me, bringing in someone like Victor Osimhen would definitely help Chelsea, and it would definitely be a signing where you stand back and you think, yep, that's a marquee signing. That is one that's going to take us to the next level. I think when it comes to Chelsea, we got the top 4 finish. We're in the Champions League next season. And I honestly do feel that we are only 1 or 2 tweaks away from being an absolute serious threat when it comes to all major titles. I think that what we got at the moment, we got the core. Something that I spoke about last time when I done YouTube was the core of what we needed, and we've seemed to have got that now. You know, when it comes to the starting lineup, you kind of get where we're going to go, and we kind of get who's going to be starting. So we are pretty much there. But I just think you need a little bit of a stardust. You go and get a Victor Osimhen, you get a Mike Maignan from AC Milan, and then it really is a formidable team. And you kind of see as well with kind of what Clear Lake have been trying to do with Chelsea and what they've been trying to achieve with the players they've been bringing in. And you can also see, you know, a kind of similar structure when it comes to PSG. What they've done, they got rid of the superstars. They brought a lot of young players in. And obviously they've just won the Champions League. So it is a formula that works. And I can see Chelsea kind of slightly working towards that. And it is the first time in a long time, especially since Clear Lake has been at Chelsea, where I can say, you know what? You see where they're going and you can kind of see what they're trying to achieve. And if it does, it is going to be very, very special. But once again, I will say on the flip side, as much as I'm in favour of Noni Madueke going over to Arsenal in terms of the money that we're going to get, what I will say is that there is always that fear when you're selling to a rival club that it will work out and he could be a really big signing for them. And Arsenal, as a lot of people know, Arsenal are there or thereabouts as well. I think they're a world-class striker away from being a serious team. You chuck in a player like Noni Madueke over there, and if he does end up reaching his full potential, it could be a fantastic signing for them. But what I will say as well is that the way I'm looking at it, he's going to be a cover for Saka. But would he really be pushing for a move to Arsenal if that's what he's been promised by Arteta? Obviously, they got plans for him, and it'd be interesting to see what happens there. I'm happy with the 50 million quid if we reinvest it very well. I think Rodrigo over at Real Madrid, he's there for the taking. We got the money, we should be getting him. We got Champions League football. We are the biggest club in London, one of the biggest teams in the world. I don't see why we couldn't go out and get him. So let me know your thoughts down below. Make sure to like, favourite, comment and subscribe. And let me know what you think. Should I come back full time? It's all about the demand from you guys. If you want me to make videos, I will make videos. And thanks for watching. Until next time, if you want it, I'll speak to you again soon. See you later.